So with the recent news coming out that Bottas has signed yet another year-long deal with Mercedes, there's once again been lots of talk around if he actually deserves a seat, or if he's just simply there just to wingman Hamilton to constant victories like a little simp, while simultaneously holding back a young talent in George Russell, who's currently being wasted in the Williams. Well, today I want to answer that question and find out if Bottas truly is underrated, and I feel that the best way to do this is to look back at his career up to this point. So the following is Valtteri Bottas' entire career in 7 minutes.
Like the porridge, pedal bro, I floated. Leading championship, though I am on it.
Also, quick one, apologies if you get distracted by my sunburn in this video. I burnt it at work before filming it, so I'm a little bit red. Enjoy. On the 28th of August 1989, Valtteri Victor Bottas was born in Nastola, Finland, to his parents Rauno, who owned a small cleaning company in the town, and Marianne, who was an undertaker. No, not the Undertaker. Well, actually, maybe. I mean, Wikipedia didn't specify. Now, Valtteri, just like most F1 drivers, began his racing career in karting, first attempting to do so at the young age of 5. However, due to his young age, his feet couldn't reach the pedals and he was unable to take part. Big L. Yet his grandfather reassured young Valtteri and told him that if he ate porridge every day, that finally by the time the next spring rolled around, he'd be tall enough to race. And so, that's what he did. And that's what happened. Thus birthing his love for porridge. It sounds like I made this up, but I promise you, apparently this is genuinely true. Anyway, that porridge must have worked wonders, as his karting career became fairly successful, as he finished 8th in the 2005 Karting World Cup. 8th best in the world. I mean, it's not bad, is it, lads? Obviously, me personally, if I was racing, I clearly would have taken the championship easy. I mean, I probably would have lapped everyone, to be fair. But I get it, it's not fair to compare mere mortals to racing gods such as myself. I mean, I'm just so good. That's why I'm sat in my room chatting shit about F1 and not actually racing F1. Bottas then took some time away from racing, as he enlisted and served in the army for a brief period, since in Finland it's mandatory for all adult males to do so he didn't really have a choice. However, the Lance Corporal didn't waste too much time away from the track, as by late 2007 he was back in the driver's seat. Now promoted to Formula Renault, Bottas dominated the UK Winter Series, winning 3 out of the 4 races in the championship. Yet despite this, he didn't actually win the title, since he didn't hold the correct license to do so and thus gained no championship points. That's gonna have to be another big L. And instead, the title went to a guy called Richard Singleton.
Who the fuck is that guy?
However, Bottas soon made up for this loss in the winter, as in the 2008 season, he had won both the Formula Renault Euro Cup and the Formula Renault Northern European Cup, beating out big names such as multiple F1 race winner Daniel Ricciardo, 2-time Formula E champion Jean-Eric Vergne, and not to mention 2015 Mana Marussia driver Roberto Meri. Not bad for a number 2 driver, eh? In fact, Valtteri and the Honey Badger had a great battle in Formula Renault that year, with there only being 3 championship points separating them in the end. For 2009, the Finn moved up to the Formula 3 Euro Series, competing for ART. And yet, despite not winning a race that year, he had 2 pole positions and beat out his teammate Alexander Sims, who's now currently a Formula E driver. I mean, that inter-team rivalry must have been electric. I'm so sorry, I'm really not funny. Now, even though Valtteri didn't achieve a win in the Euro Series in 2009, he did manage to win the Masters of Formula 3 event that year, achieving the Grand Slam that year as he got the pole, the win, as well as the fastest lap. And if that wasn't enough, he repeated the feat again the year after in 2010, becoming the first 2-time Masters of Formula 3 champion. So, thus far, we have a very decent junior career, filled with plenty of wins, titles, and lots of potential. Enough potential, in fact, that the Williams F1 team swiped him up as their test driver in 2010, a role in which he remained for the next 3 seasons, taking part in a total of 15 practice sessions, all while simultaneously competing in the GP3 series for ART, where he'd claim a number of wins and ultimately the championship. Keep eating that porridge, son. Do you reckon instead of like ice baths, he just bathes in porridge? Can you imagine bathing in all between your like toes and your crevices? So swiftly moving on from that thought, Valtteri finally then got his big break, as in 2013 the Williams F1 team gave him a seat alongside a true great, a legend of Formula 1, one of the very best to ever even grace a racetrack, Pastor Maldonado. So Valtteri's first season in F1 was fairly uneventful. However, he did manage to achieve a 3rd place in qualifying in Canada, and overall he beat out the GOAT himself in points. And due to being dethroned, Maldonado couldn't take it anymore and left the team, which resulted in Valtteri's teammate for the next 3 years being none other than Felipe Massa, a highly experienced, speedy driver who was just departing Ferrari, having won many poles and many races over the years. I mean, in 2008 he was even world champion for 30 seconds. Yet despite all this skill and experience behind Massa, Valtteri still managed to beat him out every single year in points, achieving podiums in every season along the way, with 6th in 2014 getting him up to 4th in the points, only finishing behind both Mercedes drivers and ex-Formula Renault rival Daniel Ricciardo. But then as the Williams' performance fell away, he achieved just 2 podiums in 2015, finishing 5th in the points, and only 1 podium in 2016 as he could only just manage 8th in the points. But overall, not a bad 3 years at Williams. He really showed his speed in 2014 and 15, getting a number of podiums, with the dying performance of the Williams being the only thing that stopped him getting more and more each year. And all of this positive performance really paid off after Rosberg's shock retirement at the end of 2016, as it was him that Mercedes chose to replace the exiting world champion with. And I mean, he had a solid first year at the Silver Arrow, achieving 4 4 poles and 3 wins, on his way to helping Mercedes get their 4th consecutive Constructors' Championship, as well as himself up to 3rd place in the championship. 2018, however, was a very, very different story, as he seemed to struggle all season with bad luck and inconsistency, and just general lack of speed, not even achieving 1 win in the entire season, despite having the best car on the grid. Now, I think it's pretty clear that this season is what poorly impacted his reputation, as people started to feel he wasn't good enough and thus didn't deserve that seat in the Mercedes. And I mean, they weren't really wrong. His performance in 2018 was just abysmal. Yet with Mercedes still deciding to retain him for the next season, all eyes were on him going into 2019. And boy did he deliver! Winning first time out in Australia, with many believing that this was a new Valtteri we were seeing on track. Bottas 2.0, as he admitted he spent lots of time in the winter from 2018 to 2019 looking back at his poor season and trying to figure out how to improve himself and better his driving. And I think it really showed on track. However, with young talent George Russell now up in Formula 1 in the Williams, Bottas had direct competition for his seat, and I really feel he rose to the challenge. He went on to win 3 more races that season and finished 2nd overall in the points, and I feel silencing quite a lot of his doubters in the process. So that pretty much leads us to now, where he's currently 2nd in the 2020 championship after 4 rounds. Now, personally, I believe Bottas is hugely underrated by fans, and I never thought I'd become such a passionate fanboy for him, but honestly, it kind of annoys me how much people disrespect him. Like, he was winning the championship up to the 3rd race of this season against arguably the best driver of all time in equal machinery. Put some respect on the boy's name. Now, yes, we were and still are very early into the season, and yes, Hamilton will most probably, almost definitely, pretty much certainly come out on top, but he's a 6-time world champion. He should come out on top. Valtteri literally has this game on the hardest difficulty, and since he's up against one of the GOATs of F1, I think it means lots of people look down on him, and it's not really his fault. Well, I mean, it is a little bit, but I think you get what I'm trying to say. Just because Hamilton is so good, it makes Bottas look bad in the eyes of many people. However, I think we've seen from his junior career and F1 career up to this point that he really is a fast and consistent driver, capable of bringing it to and often beating some of the biggest names in the sport in recent times. It's just a big shame for him that he's being compared to Lewis Hamilton, and I think because of all this stuff I just mentioned, plus his current form, he has earned that Mercedes seat. He deserves to be there, and from Mercedes' point of view, why would you get rid of it? He's quick, consistent, a good team player, willing to sacrifice his own personal goals for the goals of the team, as well as step up and take wins on a regular basis. Well, I mean, semi-regular, and not to mention the fact that him and Lewis have a great working relationship. Now, yes, George Russell is a talent, and I, just like so many other people, want to see him in that Mercedes going head-to-head with Hamilton, but for now, Mercedes have a great lineup, with both drivers arguably being at the top of their game, so why would they want to change that? George Russell will get his chance in that Mercedes, but for now, Valtteri Bottas is here to stay, and I don't have a problem with that. Shalom, children. Hello. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Comment down below what you think of Bottas. If you think he's quick, if you think he's underrated, if you think he's a porridge master, or if you just think he's trash, let me know down below. I personally like him, as I've just said. But you know, everyone's got different opinions, and I really want to hear yours, so make sure to comment. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Send it to all your friends you like F1. I'm sure they'll love me. I'm a lovely shouty man who gets voice cracks sometimes. Anyway, you lot, I've been Aiden. This has been Mr. Aiden F1. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Like the porridge, pedal bro, I floated. Leading championship, though I am on it. The Spanish Grand Prix, I should have won it. My blade's glowing orange because of vodka and porridge.